これが世界チャンピオンのオットピー選手と一緒に撮った写真で、
将来の目標は？
もちろん世界チャンピオンになってかっこいいでも続ける。
頑張りましょう。
おう、頑張りますよ。
頑張りましょう。
頑張りますよです。
If ever there's any problems or anything, I just go out on my bike and just forget about it. You know, if it's at home with like my mum, my parents, anything like that, just go straight out. Go out on my bike and I just forget about it straight away. It's just a good way of escaping from everything. When you're practicing and you're getting better, you do it by doing things that you're not sure of. It's very rare that I'll walk away from something without doing it. Because it just doesn't, I just can't handle it when someone beats you. You know, if you can't get up something or something's proper scary. Part of it. If you get hurt, you need to go up and do it again and go and meet. You know, that's part of trouble at trials, knowing your ability. And sometimes you sort of, I don't know, I seem to go through stages where I don't trust my ability or don't believe in myself as much as I should do. I just want to do it for a job, that's what I want to do. I just want to be able to get up, go out on my bike all day, ride, come in, go out and ride next day, just do that. Just get better and better. We've got to that point now where you can't progress at the rate I need to by working all the time. You just haven't got time to practice. It's not just like technical side, it's mental side as well. If you go out and you ride every day, you're always doing bigger stuff, you're getting used to doing bigger stuff. You go through so many different phases in trials that you don't know what you're going to be doing next. Like, there's so many different ways it can go.
Right. Drops him. Breathe in it. One breath.
In vorm te blijven moet ik dus veel trainen. Zoals je ziet hier in mijn tuin heb ik allemaal rotsen. Ik zal eens een demonstratie geven. ben begonnen op 9-jarige leeftijd. En dat was te danken aan mijn vader. Mijn vader deed toen motortrial en zo zijn wij daarin gegroeid. We hebben eerst een jaar eigenlijk enkel en alleen maar fietstrial gedaan. Terwijl mijn vader nog een beetje gecombineerd heeft met ons samen eigenlijk. En op een gegeven moment zag mijn vader dat er wel kwaliteit was in ons getweeën, dus mijn broer en ik. Toen heeft hij zich eigenlijk fulltime neergespitst toegespitst liever op onze carrière en heeft hij ons constant naar wedstrijden gevoerd, naar trainingen, naar Wallonië, waar we dus constant gingen trainen. Heeft hij alles verkocht eigenlijk voor ons en heeft hij ons ook de basistechnieken geleerd van de sport. Vandaag is een hele drukke dag. We moeten een paar sponsorartikelen gaan ophalen bij de sponsors. We moeten allerlei paparassen ingevuld worden en opgestuurd. Ik moet ook veel bezig zijn met de wedstrijd die ik organiseer nu zondag. Dus ik weet wel wat gedaan vandaag. Daarna moeten we nog gaan trainen natuurlijk, maar dat is voor later op deze dag.
Je pense que j'ai les mêmes problèmes que peut avoir n'importe quel père par rapport à des garçons qui ont 17 et 18 ou 20 ans. Je n'ai pas des problèmes différents. Bon, ils sont peut-être un petit peu amplifiés par la compétition. La compétition de haut niveau, c'est quelque chose de très dur. Ça amplifie, ça grossit quelques problèmes, mais en fait, j'ai pas des problèmes différents de n'importe quel père par rapport à les enfants. C'est sûr que ça prend beaucoup de place au niveau du couple. Par contre, ça, au niveau de la vie familiale, au niveau du couple, ça prend beaucoup de place, ça, c'est certain. Mais je pense que tous les gens de par le monde et qui font de la compétition de haut niveau, qui se bagarrent, qui font des compétitions du niveau des championnats du monde, ils mettent beaucoup de leur vie, c'est normal. Et il faut arriver à gérer tout ça de manière la plus simple possible. Mais il ne faut pas se plaindre, hein, c'est avoir des enfants qui sont les champions du monde, qui gagnent des épreuves, qui assurent à ce point dans des compétitions très difficiles, c'est vraiment une grande joie. Je suis très fier de ça.
Donc voilà, bon, mais les avantages que ça m'apporte de m'entraîner avec Jaco, c'est que déjà il est plus vieux, donc ça m'apporte pas mal de choses. Et sur certains passages, il y a des passages où je vois pas la façon que je peux faire, qui est meilleur. Donc je travaille sa façon, tout ça, et ça m'apporte, tu vois.
Ouais, c'est sûr que s'entraîner à deux, c'est positif parce que, comme l'a dit mon frère, c'est vraiment un atout. On est toujours plus fort à deux parce que on progresse plus vite, on se motive. Quand il y en a un de nous deux qui n'a pas forcément envie d'aller s'entraîner, bon, il y en a toujours un de nous deux qui veut y aller, qui veut s'entraîner. Et surtout dans un sport comme le trial, où on est souvent dans la nature tout seul, où c'est un sport assez solitaire, ben là il se trouve qu'on est à deux et c'est toujours plus facile quoi, de s'entraîner. En voyant l'autre faire, c'est plus convivial.
mon père a toujours fabriqué des vélos en fait. Quand on était petit, il avait fait des vélos spéciaux pour nous à notre taille, et particulièrement pour mon frère parce que il était vraiment petit, très jeune. Donc avec 2 vélos, il en avait fabriqué un. Et maintenant, tout au long de notre carrière, en fait, il a fait des vélos un peu spéciaux, tout ça. Et maintenant, il nous a fait ce vélo qui est vraiment pour nous. Notre vélo, c'est en quelque sorte notre bébé, quoi. Et c'est fantastique, quoi, parce que de pouvoir assouvir un rêve comme ça, c'est notre vélo, c'est mon père qui l'a dessiné, c'est vraiment une histoire de famille.
Bon, ben, mon père il nous a apporté, ben, c'est simple. Hein. S'il n'était pas là, eh ben, on n'aurait jamais fait le trial. Et il était là tous les jours, quoi. À chaque fois qu'on s'entraînait, c'est avec lui que pendant 10 ans, on s'entraînait tous les jours, on a passé tous les contacts, tous les grands moments. Ça continue maintenant, il gère, s'occupe des cadres, il a fait faire les cadres, tout ça. Bon, c'est une grande histoire de famille. Et bon, c'est sûr qu'il nous a apporté, tant techniquement que mentalement, parce que bon, c'est lui qui nous a transmis toutes les techniques en regardant, en ayant un regard extérieur. Et mentalement, avec l'expérience qu'il avait, il nous a aidé à comprendre certaines choses.
Mes premières idoles ont été en moto-trial avec Jordi Tarès, Blanquin, Marco Lomé. Et petit à petit, je suis passé au vélo. Donc, j'ai d'abord fait du vélo trial, donc je regardais beaucoup les cassettes d'Otpi et César Cagnas aussi, qui étaient vraiment des stars pour moi. Petit à petit, je suis passé au 26 pouces. Et donc là, j'ai vraiment regardé vraiment les techniques de Marc Esso, Marc Vinco. Parce qu'ils étaient jeunes, ils apportaient une nouvelle approche du sport, donc j'essayais vraiment de faire comme il faisait. Il y avait aussi Thierry Gérard qui gagnait toutes les courses à l'époque, mais moi je me sentais moins proche de lui parce qu'il était déjà plus âgé. Et donc j'ai beaucoup progressé en regardant rouler Marc Esso, Marvinko, et maintenant c'est des concurrents à moi, donc la roue a tourné. For me, it's not very easy because I still go to school, but it's also very, very good because I don't do only trials, so I have other things to think in the day, and I see more pleasure because, for example, when it's holidays, I have more time and I really want to do bike. It's not like a job for me, so I have another kind of motivation and a different way to see the sport. It mustn't be a job, you know?
The BikeTrial is my life. Why it's my life? Because it changed my life. Trial. If I didn't make trial, maybe I was in school, I was mechanic auto, I don't know, maybe I work for I don't know, but it changed my life because I have the life I want.
Je suis aussi très, malgré toutes les difficultés qu'on peut avoir, et aussi beaucoup de joie évidemment, très très content que mes enfants, Gilles et Giacomo, fassent du trial. C'est une très très bonne expérience. Le trial, et c'est une zone de trial, en quelque sorte, c'est un peu ce qui se passe dans la vie. Quand un pilote démarre dans une zone de trial, il est confronté à beaucoup de choses qu'on peut rencontrer dans la vie. Il faut être lucide, il faut être précis, et il faut avoir bien analysé les difficultés. Si on se trompe, si on fait une erreur, on paye cash. Il faut être très fort dans la tête. Il faut accepter de perdre, il faut accepter de se tromper. Mais malgré tout, c'est jamais perdu, même si on fait une erreur. C'est une zone de trial, c'est la vie en concentré.
great musicians, they'll say that the music comes through them. You know, when they're composing, when they're jamming, they might not necessarily be really focused on the music, but they're sort of letting the music come through them. And sometimes when you get into that state during a ride, it's almost the same sort of feeling, like you're just riding and you're doing these things that maybe you've never done before, and you're just basically sort of letting the riding come through you. I think that generally the sport of trials is very structured, you know, especially, you know, high level competition. You know, it's a very structured sport. You know, you have a set course with the obstacles, and you've got to ride through the obstacles, and usually there's an optimum way. You have to be creative to a certain point in figuring out the best line, the easiest line, the line of least resistance, and so that's great. But for me, in my opinion, I think that that's still just one part of trials, the potential of trials. That's just one part. I think I've done both. I've done competition, but I've also done sort of my own sort of thing, my own sort of creative kind of riding. And that's the part that's really fascinating me right now, that I'm really enjoying the creativity of having no structure and just using the skills and techniques I've developed as a trials rider and applying it to different types of terrain, different obstacles, and seeing what happens. I mean, I think that's a huge part of the sport, and you know, I think I'm loving it right now.
like after all trials riders go to heaven, there would be trials courses everywhere. There'd be all the rocks gathered in one place, all the man-made obstacles, and all these specially crafted obstacles for trials to be painted in different colors, and that'd be just the ideal heaven for all trial riders.
Que en esto también siempre estamos, toda mi familia volcado en esto. Pues mi padre, mi hermano, mi madre nos ayuda. Pues nosotros hemos montado un espectáculo que lo hacemos pues eso, entre mi hermano y yo. Pero claro, mi padre es el que monta todo, es el que hace el trabajo pues el más duro, igual. Que es el de montar todo, preparar todo y encargarse de las obligaciones. Yo, bueno, hago lo mío, que es lo mío, ¿qué tal? Pues lo mío es, llevo toda la vida aprendiendo esto y claro, pues me valgo un poco de eso. Vivía un poco con la bici, entonces pues era fácil seguir. Lo difícil era para mí cuando era pequeño ir a los sitios, pero bueno, eso se encargaban por suerte mis padres que me han ayudado todo lo que han podido en esto de ir a los sitios y ayudarme en lo que sea y pues, cualquier competición o cualquier oportunidad para que yo mejorara o
I needed a change from my life in Vancouver, and I wanted to do something new. I wanted to start over again. I'm living and working in Japan now.
This is not just starting over a new life in terms of living and working in Japan, but it also means starting over in terms of riding trials. I have to find new places to ride trials, and everything seems to be very spaced out apart. So that's one of the challenges here.
いいとこはすっごいいっぱいあるんですけど、やっぱ悪いとこも若干はどうしてもね、こういう世界はあるんですけど、でもそれを踏まえた上でもやっぱプロにはなってよかったなと思います。もともと僕の性格が人に喜んでもらえるっていうことが好きで、自分にはそういうこういう業界もあっとるかなと思ったりします。全国各地いろんなとこでイベントさせてもらったり、雑誌の取材受けさせてもらったり、ビデオこうやってねビデオを撮ってもらったりいろいろしてるわけなんですけど、なんかそういうプロ意識が芽生えてから自転車に対する姿勢っていうのがすごい大きく変わって、自己満足っていうのもすごい大事なんですけど、それ以上に第三者の目が見た目で自分を見てみるっていうことを考え出して、そうすることによってまた見せるライディングっていう風なにもつながっていって、で大きく進歩できたっていうか、テクニック的にも人間的にもそれなりに進歩できたと思います。やっぱそれなりにやっぱりしんどいんですけど、その充実感っていうか達成感っていうか、そういうのはすごいいいですね。今もまだ完成したスタイルではなくて、今もまだ手探りで新しいスタイルを探してる時なんですけど、やっぱり常に何か新しいものを求めてないと枠が広がら ないっていうか、自分の世界で固まってしまうっていうか、その自分だけの中で満足してたら、その枠っていうのはどんどん小さくなっていって、何か新しいものを常に求めようとしてると、その枠はどんどん大きくなっていって、でなんかすごいものが見つかったりとか、すごい乗り方ができるようになったりとかっていう風なのにつながっていくと僕は思います。
I met Hans Ray for the first time in BC Place Stadium. Right there. He was doing a demo. I was watching. From that moment on, I just totally idolized him. I loved what he did and tried to mimic his every move. Hans is amazing in the fact that, you know, he's had a pretty long career, and his career is still flying high. It's amazing. He just has followed his passion throughout all those years, and from that day I met him to this day now, I still fully look up for him, even though maybe past his prime trials riding years, he's moved on and kept progressing in a whole bunch of different avenues. He's traveling all over the place. It's awesome to see, and he's been a hero of mine and will be forever.
Jeremiah, you are here again? Oh. It has so much stuff in there, and stuff I probably never use again, but at the same time it's a lot of history, and there's all kinds of, I kept some of my old bikes just because they had good memories to them. I kept certain prototype things and parts, and you know, sometimes you can give them to people who need them still, and sometimes it's just nice to have them or to show people. I mean, for example, right here is a Trials tire made by GT Trials. They made a special tire when we built the Ricochet bike back in the 80s. That's one of the last ones left, probably. I don't even know if I have a second one, but well, there's the old, you know, there's Trials tires, modern ones, a little older, all the way to, I probably have some Pirellis, because initially these Trials tires, like the ones Monty has them now, they used to be made by Pirelli, and they were made for really small motorcycles, the front and the rear tire. And eventually Monty took over the mold from Pirelli and started doing their Monty tires. And it's funny, this same tire, like this one here, this pattern, like everybody uses in the front now, we've been riding this since like literally 1981 or so. I think I got my first ever tire, somebody brought it back from Spain for me in like around 81 or so, and it was like I only put it on for competitions and would take it off right away again to train and stuff, because they were so rare, and they came from motorcycles, and ever since then it's amazing. We run the same tires. There's old frames from, some of them I kept, some of them I gave away or sold or did whatever with them. These frames are from the early 90s, I would think. Never used. Some front wheel, because I had a hard landing one time. Might still use or have to use. Here's some of my old jerseys underneath on this clothes rack. I kind of kept a few shirts from every season. Stuff goes back all the way to when I first came to the States. Those were uniforms I used to race with in Europe, still in 85, 6 and early 7. And then when I came to the States I started wearing the American garb. Swatch was actually my clothing sponsor back then. I wore like Swatch, just like t-shirts they had and stuff, and later went into the neon. That was really cool at one point, if you believe it or not. And it probably will be cool again before long. And then I sometimes when I raced, so I started wearing a GT uniform. That's the first ever GT team jersey. And then this one was the following one in probably 89 or so, 88, 89. That's a bib from some indoor trials competition in Spain. And so on, you know, and then there's, you know, the jerseys changed over the years from the yellow to a different yellow to the blue and to different blues and to the black ones, and then I got away from the jerseys at all and started doing more like soccer jerseys and uniforms, and in between somewhere is probably a skin suit which I wore for a season for sometimes, and didn't think it would last that long, those skin suits. It was just a joke, and now they're taking it seriously, those guys, and still wearing them. That jersey right here, I did a show at the Olympic clothing ceremonies in Atlanta. They had this extreme sports act, and they had us in these jerseys, and there was all kinds of skateboarders, BMXers, and like 4 trials riders were part of this whole act. It was choreographed by this guy. He used to be Michael Jackson's choreographer, and Tony Hawk was there. They all signed this thing. Let's see, here's Matt Hoffman's signature, here's Tony Hawk, there is Steve Caballero, I think. Wow, all these guys, DMC, Dennis McCoy. There's a classic trophy. You think you have it bad now? Look what we got as trophies. A mirror from a car. First Interbike Expert Trials competition in 87. That was my place. They went to one of the obstacles, broke off the mirror, took a magic marker and say, here. And I was really proud of this trophy because this was one of those impressive American style BMX trophies. Some of those guys used to get trophies like 6 feet tall. And I always wanted to have one of those in my collection. And here I have it, and it's in the garage. Broken, with spider webs and dirty, huh? Guess times change. But I think one of my ex-girlfriends threw it after me once, that's why it's broken. Example. Snow chains for mountain bikes. Put those on my bike when I went to Mammoth. In 1993 we filmed some snow mountain biking. And I know it's not that big of a deal to ride in snow, but back then it was, and nobody had really done it. Riding down the corners or riding down the kamikaze in the snow. And we figured we need snow chains, and those are the snow chains, and we put them on, and they flew off my wheels after about 100 yards, and I never put them back on again ever since then. Yeah, let's see what we have in this little box. This could be interesting. This is like my little trial spare part box. It's kind of outdated now. I'm not really going through it anymore. Oh, there's a chain I could still use, so that's good. Here's an old skid blade from a GT bike. Old Monty spare parts. They were really hard to find. Look at this, is a GT's triple clamp for the triple clamp fork handlebar mount. Huge bolts. Used to ride these kind of brake levers. It's a motorcycle lever. Gives you a little leverage. Then we use Shimano levers. We cut off the shifters. Yeah, bicycle trials has a long history in the US, even though it's a European sport. There's been people doing it in this country for probably 25 years at least. I have old reports from even the NBL, the National Bicycle League, BMX Federation. They used to have in their rule book trials rules, and they tried to sanction competition. They never took off, and they were definitely ahead of their time. But there were movements, and I remember reading articles in European magazines about the annual observed trials championships in the United States. Usually they were in Kentucky, I think, or Kentucky. I think they were in Kentucky, and they were also run by motorcycle trials people. I used to come here with Odd P about 15 years ago. We used to build sections here. Each of us built like 3 or 4 sections. And then we had a little competition and we judged each other. And this whole park is full of really cool trial stuff, and that's how we got ready for the World Championships a few summers in a row. It's a good place here. Took many people here in the past. The thing about becoming professional, you know, it's definitely not easy in trials, you know, and to have fun on the bike, you can do that if you're a professional or an amateur, you know. You don't need to be sponsored to have fun, and that's the most important thing, you know, to enjoy and to feel free on your bike and to just go out and do it. And sometimes you actually have to sacrifice some of that when you become professional, because you're not as free as it seems, and you know, it comes also with a burden of responsibilities and pressures and things you have to deal with. And what most people I think don't really understand is the fact that it's a business, and in a business both sides want to get something out of it. And the sponsors, you know, they have a reason why they sponsor a rider. They don't just sponsor a guy just for fun. Unless you get creative, you know. That might mean you have to do some things which not everybody is willing to do. I enjoy my job, but it has a lot more to it than riding my bike. A lot of times I don't even have time to ride my bike because I'm more like my own agent, or I'm lining up things, or I find myself doing autograph sessions or interviews or testing product or traveling somewhere to a trade show or to an event, or I have to do trial shows or shoot videos, and you know, where, you know, there might be other things I would rather do, but on the other hand, this is my job and I get to ride my bike, and it's about my bike and it's a dream job. But there's much more than riding the bike and being good at it. And mainly the best thing one can get out of it, I think, is a lifestyle. It's to make your hobby to your job, enjoy it, and the fact that you get to travel around the world, meet a lot of cool people and make friends. That's the most you can ever hope. If you're in a position that you can make money and can make a living for a while, more power to it. It's all possible. You just gotta remember, you gotta make it happen for yourself, because most likely there will nobody be there who's gonna make it happen for you or pave the road for you, at least not completely.